2 small bricks. I can bring them to you at a later point in the class if you don't have any. Taking this time at the start of class to bring yourself into the room. These unusual times, really important to connect inwards. So in order to start that process, first have your eyes open. Allow the colours, the shapes of the room to be observed by your eyes. Feel the weight of your body on the earth, perhaps noticing the points of you that contact with the ground, with the mat. And then slowly begin to lower the gaze and close the eyes. What can you see on the back of your eyelids? Again, maybe noticing the shapes, the colours, maybe some kind of sparkly dancing lights, whatever it is, just bringing your attention and looking inwards. You're drawing your gaze to your internal landscape or atmosphere. Inviting the muscles of the face to soften and release. Forehead, cheekbones, jaw, make them soft and slack. And then begin to focus on your breath. Allow your inhale to draw in, expanding the lungs, filling you up. Exhale, the gases leave up and out of the body. Inhaling deeply, that sense of space, expansion, filling up. Exhale, grounding down, a rooting here. Maybe a release of something you don't need. Following the ebb and flow of your breath. Inhale, expansive. Exhale, a connection to this place, this time. So we'll use the next 60 minutes or so to strengthen and stretch, but using it to practice mindfulness, non-judgmental connection, awareness of what's happening for you at the present moment. Perhaps even looking, what is the force that drives your breath, that deep inner essence. Inhale, expansive. Exhale, maybe even imagine them melting down into the ground. Inhale, can you breathe through your skin, through your boundaries of the body? Exhale, letting something go. So this connection to your surroundings, the people, the place, through this rhythmic breath. Can you make your next breath in the deepest and fullest yet? Hold on to the breath at the top, so retaining the breath, finding that pause, and then sigh it out the mouth. Let's repeat that. Inhale deeply, holding, and release. Brilliant. From here, you're going to reach the arms up and over the head. Come into a full body stretch. Hannah, can I get you to shift a few inches forward on your mat? Just a couple. Okay, just a tiny bit behind you. Then reaching the arms up and over, full body stretch, like a good morning stretch. And you're going to grab the left wrist with the right hand and begin to reach up and over towards your right. So initiating a side bend from the hips, the arms are reaching up and over towards the window to begin with. And then the feet, the heels can follow, so they can shuffle over towards the right. You're making a banana shape with your body, banana asana. Let the shoulders be heavy, the arms laying down onto the mat, back of the pelvis, bum, heels grounded. And use a deep inhale and a full exhale to stretch out that side of the body. So without forcing too much, use your breath to work into the pose. That inhale, making space. Imagine the fibers of the muscles between your ribs lengthening. Exhale, feel that rootedness again, that grounding down here in the room. Take another breath on this side. And then bring yourself back to center. So realign to the center of your mat. Reach for the back and the front of the room, fingers away from toes. And then begin with the upper body, grabbing right wrist with the left hand, and this time arching the upper body over towards the left side of the room. So beginning the stretch from the right hip all the way up to the wrist, the fingers. And then the legs can get involved, so shuffling the heels over towards this side of the room, making a banana shape with your body, navigating props where they might turn. Soft face, deep breath. Using the inhale to stretch that side of the body, so side bending, twisting and stretching will be our focus for today. Last breath here. And then shuffle yourself back to center. Reach arms away from legs, fingers away from toes. And then draw the knees in, give yourself a hug. So the knees come in towards the chest, holding the tops of the shins, maybe the back of the thighs. As some of you are doing, you could rock a little from side to side, massaging the back of the pelvis. From here, you could roll over to one side to come up, or rock and roll lengthways along the spine, building a bit of momentum, massaging the muscles either side of the vertebra. Great. Until you find yourself poised on your sit bones, your hands behind the backs of the knees, your toes could rest on the mat to begin with. Shoulders down the back, engagement of your core, this cylinder at your center, this kind of corset. Then lifting up the shins and reaching the arms forward. So coming to a bent knee Navasana boat pose. From here, we're going to rock a little from side to side. So rocking the boat. And at the same time, lowering the torso and the legs down towards the mat. So a little rock from side to side, you're lowering down in your boat. The fun bit is getting back up again, so slowly, rocking from side to side, lifting the heart. Perhaps for a breath, reach the arms up, the legs up, flare the toes, flare the fingers, and then roll over the ankles, come to all fours, hands and knees. Spread your fingers nice and wide, have the knees underneath the hips, and we're going to move around some conventional cat-cow. As you inhale, allow the belly, the chest to drop down towards the earth. The heart lifts, the tailbone tips up. Exhale, tuck chin to chest, press into the hands and round up the spine. Inhale, belly drops, shoulder blades glide down the back of the ribs as the gaze comes forwards. Exhale, tuck chin to chest, press into the hands and round up the spine. Take a few more rounds, matching your movement to the length of the breath. Noticing the movement of the shoulders, exhale, rounding, pressing up that spot between the blades. Really nice. Nice breath, everyone. Last one. And then you come into a neutral spine, slightly different. We're going to localize the stretch, the strengthening our scapulars in the shoulders. So the fingers are spread, the arms stay straight for this. Inhale, allow your torso to drop a few inches towards the mat. So your shoulder blades squeeze together on the back of the body, but the arms stay straight. Then as you exhale, press the hands down. Feel the shoulder blades pull apart as you round up the spine, doming it up towards the sky. Inhale, the chest dips down, the shoulder blades squeeze together. Exhale, press into the hands, shoulder blades broaden, a little core strength to round up. So taking a couple more breaths, the hips, the head stay reasonably still. Brilliant. You're going to finish with your chest doming up towards the sky, so pressing the hands down, feeling the shoulder blades pull apart. That strength in the front of the body, keep that And just step the legs back to plank pose. So the upper body stays the same, kind of puffed up upper body. Heels pressed to the back of the room. Front of the body is really strong. Make sure you've got your feet at least hip distance apart. They can be a little bit wider for this next bit. You're going to drop your heels over towards the right. Upper body stays the same, so both hands stay on the mat. Inhale, heels up, and then them over towards the left. Great. A couple more to each side, so it's like you're wringing out your middle section. This corset of a core that wraps, supports the internal organs, keeps us upright. Final one each side. You're doing brilliantly. And then coming back to center, so plank pose, heels pressed to the back of the room. Deep breath in. And then as you exhale, lift the bum into the air, downward dog. An upside down V shape with your tailbone, the point of the V up towards the sky, yeah. If anyone would like any chalk, do let me know. You can come and hand some out. Have a bit of movement here. You can walk the dog, pressing one heel down, bending the other knee. Any more chalk, a really good way to have a bit more grip onto the mats. These heavily scrubbed mats. And on an inhale, come back into plank pose. So come forwards, weight is in the hands. Exhale, use your core to spike the bum up into the air, downward dog. Take a couple more of those. So ideally, the hand and the foot stay the same between plank and downward dog. So your hands and feet position don't move when you come from plank, and then lift up to dog. Final one, nice and slowly. And then lifting to dog. Brilliant. Pausing in downward dog, this upside down V shape. On an inhale, you're going to lift your right leg directly up behind you. Pelvis stays even. Exhale, draw knee to nose. The weight is forwards into the hand, like a flying plank. Inhale, reach that right leg directly up. Exhale, slowly draw knee to nose. One more. Move as if there's resistance from the leg in the air. And you're going to step that foot forward. Land it between the hands. If it needs a little persuasion, you can grab the ankle and help it along the way. Your back knee's going to drop down. Again, if you have a sensitive knee, fold over the mat so there's some padding. Press the front foot down. Inhale, reach the fingers up to the sky. And exhale, stay there. You're going to grab the left wrist with the right hand, reach up on an inhale, and then again arcing over to the right side towards the windows on the exhale. Great. So lengthen space on an inhale, maybe a little more side bending. Brilliant. Last breath in. And then draw that elbow across so it lands on the opposite thigh. Palms pressed. You're rotating towards the right side. Keep pressing down the mound of the big toe. Great. Rotating the spine, twisting. Take another deep breath in. As you exhale, frame the front foot, step back to plank pose. Body in a straight line, top of a press-up position. Great. From here, drop the knees and release the tops of the feet down. Lift your heart so the weight is in your hands, front of the body nice and firm. Bend your elbows an inch. Hold it there. Take a breath in. Come to 2 inches. Elbows are skimming the sides of the ribs. We're going to go to 3 inches. Holding. And 4. Brilliant. Then lower yourself all the way down onto the earth. Inhale, low cobra. Tops of the feet press. Lift up the heart. Hunch your shoulders up around your ears. So lift them. Then take them back. And allow your shoulder blades to glide down the back of the rib cage. So there's a brightening of the collarbone. Shoulder blades down the back. Take another breath in. Exhale, forehead taps the earth, tuck the toes, lift up, downward facing dog. Building some strength in the arms from your center. On an inhale, your left leg rises up behind you. Exhale, draw knee to nose underneath the body. Again, moving as slow as you can. Inhale, reaching up. Exhale, knee to nose. Last time, reaching up. This time, step that foot forward. Give it a little assistance if it needed, and drop the back knee down. Press the sole of the left foot down. Inhale, reach the fingertips to the sky. And exhale, stay here. This time, it's right wrist with the left hand. Reach up, find space and length, and then begin to arch, side bending to the left. Brilliant. Couple more lengthening. Imagine the breath stretching the fibers of the muscles between the ribs. Then on your next exhale, land that right elbow onto the opposite thigh. Palms pressed, left elbow spikes up to the sky. So you're twisting, you're rotating towards the side door you came into. Brilliant. Take another breath in. Exhale, frame the front foot, step back to plank pose. Body in a straight line, top of a press-up position. This time you can drop the knees if you'd like, otherwise we're going to try knees lifted, same thing. Tip the weight forward into the tips of the toes and bend the elbows an inch. Great, take a breath in and 2 inches. Lift the bum a little bit if you can. Brilliant, Sarah. 3 inches, you can drop the knees at any time. We're going to go 4 inches and then lower all the way down to the earth. Release the tops of the feet. Inhale, low cobra, shoulders roll back. Exhale, tuck toes, lift up, downward facing dog. From there, drop the knees down to the earth, bum to heels, rest in child's pose. You could stack the fists one on top of the other and rest the forehead on that, or rest the forehead directly onto the mat. Find a place that feels restful for you. And know that you can come here at any point throughout the practice. If you do prefer to lie on your back, that's also fine. So really important to listen to your body. I'm here as a guide to invite you, to offer you direction. But you are your best teacher. So listening into your body and to respond to what it's asking for this evening. I do sometimes offer physical assists. Now more than ever, if that doesn't resonate with you, if you do not want any hands-on assist, then give your fingers a real good wiggle. I'll know to stick to verbal cues for you. Brilliant. Whilst we're here, let's do a releasing breath. Deeply in through the nose. Sigh it out the mouth. Look forward to your hands, reach them wide. Tuck your toes, lift the bum, downward facing dog. So spiking the bum back up into the air, an upside down V shape. Great. We're going to practice jumping forward. If this doesn't work for you, then you can step. But we're going to have 3 little jumps. So look forward towards your hands. You're going to bend your knees, and on an exhale, it's like you're trying to kick yourself in the bum with your heels. So there's a little hop, trying to kick yourself in the bum with your heels. Doesn't matter if you fly an inch or maybe half a meter. Brilliant. Using all that energy and excitement, this time we're going to jump the feet towards the hands. So bend the knees, look forwards, jumping lightly, beautifully towards the front. Have your feet hip distance apart, a little softness in the knees, and hold onto your elbows. Let the spine fold forward, so standing forward, fold towards the front of the mat. Holding onto the elbows, and maybe you sway a little from side to side. Imagine gravity working its magic, lengthening the spine. Back of the neck long, head heavy. Hold on to the elbows the other way around, so switch the elbows. Give the head a good nod and a really good shake. Getting rid of all that stuff in there you don't need right now. Thoughts, feelings, to-do lists, whatever's in there, let it tumble down to the earth. Release the hands down. With a nice generous bend to the knees, you're going to press your feet down in order to roll up the spine, slowly coming up to stand. And give the shoulders a couple of rolls as you get there. Coming towards the front of the mat, I'm just going to shuffle the mats a little bit. Can I bring you forwards a little bit, Brody? Great. How can I do the same? Just so you can look at the back as well, a little bit more space. Alright, continue with me. Great, yeah, that looks fab. So coming to the front of the mat, big toes touch, heels a little apart, or your feet can be hip distance. So again, working with what works for your proportions. On an inhale, reach the arms forwards and up to the sky. Exhale, soften knees, bow down so your fingers touch the mat. Inhale, hands to your legs, lengthen the spine halfway, shoulders down the back. Exhale, place the hands and step back to plank pose. Body in a straight line, top of a press-up position. Take an extra breath in. For this one, drop the knees, the tops of the feet, lower forwards and down to the earth. Inhale, low cobra, tops of the feet, press shoulders, roll back. Exhale, tuck toes, lift up, downward facing dog. Just looking towards your hands, spread the fingers nice and wide. I'd suggest little fingers almost touching the outer edge of the mat so your shoulders have space. See if you can grip the fingers, so you're bringing some weight into the fingertips. And you can look at your wrist crease. Do what you need to do to lessen the wrinkles in the crease. So you could try bending your knees and bringing the weight back towards the feet a little bit. See if that lightens the loads on the wrist. Great. Tailbone spiking up towards the sky, and the heels can get a little heavier, perhaps extending the legs. These look brilliant. Take one last deep breath in and out. Bend your knees, look forwards. Step or jump to the hands. Inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale, forward fold. Press feet, reach arms forwards and up, lifting to the sky. Hands down through prayer. Inhale, the arms reach up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale to lengthen the spine. Exhale, place the hands. You could step or jump back to plank pose. Drop the knees off for full chaturanga. Tip the weight forward. Bend the elbows to 90 degrees, no more. Feet flip over, heart lifts, shoulder blades down the back. Then rolling over the toes, one spikes into the air. Downward facing dog. So the full chaturanga with the knees lifted, available for you if you want to build more strength. The knees down variation is a really nice one to work with. Spreading the fingers. See if you can make space between the shoulders and the the sides of the neck. So keep your arms straight, press into the hands, the fingertips. Just try and roll a bit more space there. That's it. Keeping that tiny bend in your knees just for a moment. And then see if you can lengthen the spine even more. Keep a bend in the knees. Press through the fingertips, lengthen. Brilliant. Take one more breath there. And then bend your knees, look forward. Step or jump to the hands. Inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, reach up, look up. Hands down through prayer. Third round. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, bow down. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale, place hands, step or jump back to plank pose. Your vinyasa, if you're newer, drop the knees, release the feet lower down. Inhale, a back bend of your choice. Exhale, downward facing dog. 5 or so breaths here, knowing you can drop the knees and rest in child's at any point. Perhaps aiming to lessen the weight on the wrists, so the fingertips press, a little softness to the knees to bring the weight back towards the feet. Rolling the upper arms broad. Yes, that's it, brilliant. Really nice work. Expansive inhale, filling yourself up. Engaging exhale, belly draws in and up. Final breath in and out. Bend your knees, look forward. Step or jump to the hands. Inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale, forward fold. Let the head go. Inhale, reach up, look up. Exhale, hands through prayer. Final round. Inhale, reaching up high. Exhale, bowing down. Inhale, lengthen spine. Exhale, place hands, step or jump back. Moving through your vinyasa, knees can be up or down. Inhale, shoulder blades roll down the back of the body. Exhale, downward dog. 5 or so breaths, knees can drop if you prefer to be in child's. Fingers spread, fingertips press. Act as almost a suction pad on the palm of your hands. Space between the upper arm sides of the ears, brilliant. And length to the spine, really nice. Last deep breath in and full breath out. Bend your knees, look forwards. Step Inhale, lengthen spine, shoulders back. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, reach up, look up. Exhale, hands down through prayer. Step your feet a little apart. Place your hands over your heart and close your eyes. And turn your attention inwards. How does the body feel in stillness, relative stillness, after a bit of flow? Can you feel your heart beating, blood pumping? Maybe a sense of energy of prana moving through the body. You feel air against the skin and mat underneath your feet. Face soft, breath deep, and then gently blinking, smiling, the eyes to open. You're going to step your feet together. If feet-hip distance is better for you, then fine, but feet together is a little easier with balance. There's a sense of a zipping up your central line, so your belly, your core lifts in and up. Hands into prayer, that'll also help with balance. Great. On an inhale, you're going to rise up onto the tips of the toes. On an exhale, place the heels down. Great. Inhale, rising tall and high. Exhale, heels down. Pops and cracks all welcome. Inhaling up. Exhaling down. This time you're going to stay up. So inhale, lift the heels on the tips of the toes. Squeeze the thighs together. Wobbles welcome, she says, wobbling. And slowly you're going to bend your knees. Sliding your back down an imaginary pane of glass. Keep the knees squeezing together. Strengthen the core. Your bum is lowering down towards the heels. Brilliant control, well done. When the bum gets down, there's always a fun bit on the way. You're going to lengthen the spine, so grow tall in the spine, and twisting over towards your right, so towards the window. Great. Inhale back through center. Exhale, twisting to your left. The upper body turns, using your obliques. Inhale to center. Exhale, fingertips down, well done. Bum lifts up into the air in a forward fold. Next in-breath, lengthen halfway up. Exhale, place hands. You could step or jump back to plank pose. Moving through a vinyasa, or you could skip it and lift straight up to downward dog. So all of these vinyasas now are totally optional. Perhaps going slower and being still, this is more appropriate for you tonight. Downward dog. On an inhale, your right leg lifts up behind you. Keep the pelvis squeezing, the hips pointing down, and flex that foot. So the opposite of point, flex the foot, the leg is still extended. Press the heel towards the back of the room. Your left heel is also working down towards the earth. Great. So it's a hamstring stretch in both of your legs. As you exhale, step that foot about halfway along the mat. We're going to come towards pyramid pose. So the feet have about 50 centimeters between them length, coming all the way up to stand, so lifting the torso up. Your toes are pointing towards the front of the room. You've got space between the feet, so hip distance apart. Lift your kneecaps, that'll engage your quadriceps. A little squeeze of the bum as well, so the legs are nice and strong. Great. Maybe your back leg a little out to the side and the toes pointing forward, so the opposite of what you did, your back leg. Yeah, so you've got enough space for the pointy bits of the hips to work towards the front of the room. Nice. Inhale the arms wide. Exhale, bring the hands into prayer behind your back, if that's possible for you. Otherwise, one hand on top of the other, or hold on to your elbows. Like me, your shoulders roll forward. See if you can roll them down. So the shoulder blades are moving down your spine, the heads of the shoulders away from the ears. Inhale, right in the collarbones, lift the front of the chest. Exhale, begin to hinge forward over that front leg. Nice. Find length in the spine on an inhale. Exhale, maybe you bow a little deeper. Inhale is expansion in the body. Exhale, your lower belly draws in. So perhaps you can fold a little deeper. Got a couple more breaths here. Chin working towards your shin. Brilliant. And you're going to release the hands down, rest them on that front shin. If you have bricks, wonderful, otherwise the hands rest on that front shin. The hands rest on the right shin. If you can let the back of the head go so the head is heavy, so folding perhaps a little deeper, rounding the back of the spine. And we're going to take this into a revolved triangle. Your right hand comes onto your lower back. Left hand stays on the foot. If you have bricks, it could go to the other side of the foot. You need to lengthen towards me on an inhale, so the spine grows forwards and long. Then as you exhale, rotating towards the right. Great. If you feel balanced, that right arm can reach to the sky. Use the breath. Inhale, lengthen towards the front. Exhale is that rotation. Can you roll your left shoulder blade back a little? Lovely. The right one gliding. Your left ribs roll down, the right ribs spiral up to the sky. Brilliant. Take another deep breath here, softening the top shoulder just a touch. That's it. One more, I lied. Brilliant. Then bend your front knee a lot so both of your hands can come down either side of that front foot. Well done. So the hands are down on the mat. And let's lift the back leg into a standing split. So the hands are down, left leg rises, maybe an inch higher. Then step back, plank pose. You could lift straight to downward dog. You can move through a vinyasa. Child's pose there for you if you need it. Connecting to your rhythm, your breath. Finding that softness to the face again. And when you're ready, on an inhale, your left leg rises directly behind you. Taking a few breaths here, so the foot is flexed, the heel presses to the back of the room. Your right heel, so your standing leg is also working down towards the mat. Stretching the back of both of the legs. Take another breath in, and step that foot about halfway along the mat, pyramid pose. So both the heels are down, your toes are pointing towards the front of the mat. You've got space between the feet. Inhale the arms wide. Exhale, reverse namaste, reverse prayer behind the back of the body if you've got that. Otherwise, one hand on top of the other, or hold the elbows. Everybody lift your kneecaps, engage the quadriceps. Lift the heart right in the collarbones, and as you exhale, begin to fold forwards. There's almost a gentle squeeze of the shoulder blades on the back of the body. Brilliant. Your right hip crease draws back just a touch in space, yes. Inhale, finding length in the spine. Exhale, folding forwards. Chin working towards the shin. Length on an inhale, find space. Exhale, belly draws in, maybe it's a little deeper fold. On the next exhale, you're going to release the hands onto that front shin and let the head bow down. So the back of your neck can round, head is heavy. Propping yourself up by holding the front shin. Great. From here, we're going to come towards revolved triangle. Your left hand comes onto your lower back. Right hand either steps onto the brick on the other side of the foot, or it can stay on the shin. Lengthen towards the front of the root, so grow long to begin with, and as you exhale, rotate towards the left. Great. Your left hand can reach to the sky if that feels okay for you. Beautiful. The upper thighs are rolling in and back, so rather than squeezing your bum and your pelvis, find a bit of space in the sit bones. Lovely, Ruby. Your left fingertips reaching to the sky. You reach more with the thumb, the index finger, to feel this top of the shoulder lengthen. Little finger and ring finger reach, stretching from the tip of the shoulder blade. You have one final breath here. That's it. Then bend your front knee, well done. Bring the hands either side of that front foot. Right leg lifts to the sky, standing splits. You can let the head go, give it a little nod, a little shake. Lift the back leg an inch higher. And then step back, plank pose. You know your choices, downward dog, child's, or moving through a vinyasa. if you need it. Let's do a breath in through the nose, out the mouth. Bend your knees, look forwards. Step or jump to the hands. Inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, reach up, look up. Exhale, hands through prayer. Just taking a moment there to settle. What's happening in the face? Breath. And then softly blink the eyes to open. Again, feet together if that feels okay for you. You're going to come to chair pose. Your bum goes back, arms reach forward for a breath. So bending the knees, weight equally in the heels and the toes. Lengthen on an inhale. And bring the hands down through prayer. Again, a bit more space and length. And then you're twisting towards the window. Left elbow to the opposite thigh. You can hover the left elbow above the thigh if you want, or you can make contact. That left knee will jut a little bit in front of the right, but see if you can keep the knees squeezing together. The rotation comes from the spine rather than the hips. Great. From here, look down towards your feet. Now you can bring the fingertips down in order to step back. Otherwise, use the strength at your center to lift the left foot. Slowly stepping back, toes find the back of the mat. You're in a twisted lunge towards the right side. Brilliant. You have options from here. Staying where you are is a great option. If you'd like, you can bring the hand down to the inside or the outside for a bit more challenge. Right arm reaching to the sky. Those of you that do have a bind, your left arm goes beyond the leg, underneath the body. Your right elbow bends, maybe you find the back of the waist, maybe you find your fingertips. If you are binding, lift up a little bit from the legs. There's a bit more engagement and lift. Take another deep breath wherever you got to. Then exhale, frame the front foot with the hands, step back to plank pose. Moving through Vinyasa, we're going to meet in dog if you want to come straight there. Really nice breath, everyone. Inhale, lift your right leg up behind you. This time you can bend the knee and open the hip out to the side, but keep an eye on your left leg. So you want your left knee to stay in line with the middle three toes so it's not twisting too far. Yeah, brilliant. Opening out the right hip perhaps a little more. And as you exhale, that right knee draws across to the opposite elbow, so across the body to the opposite elbow. You're going to lengthen the leg out towards the side wall, maybe rolling onto the inside of the back foot, lift the left arm to the sky, fallen star. You do have any wrist issues, you can do this on your forearm. So you're on the inside edge of the back foot, yeah, the left leg is long. If you want more, you can drop the hips down towards the mat. So you're lowering the bum down towards the mat, and on an inhale perhaps lifting, reaching for the front of the room. Dipping the hips down and lifting them up. Again, work on the oblique muscles, the side of the waist. So all of this is optional. Brilliant. Then the hand comes back down onto the earth. Swoop that right leg all the way up into the sky. Three-legged dog. And this time, draw the knee forwards, the shin lands towards the front of the room. Setting up for pigeon pose. So the left knee drops, you're releasing the top of the foot down. We're going to stay high in our pigeon. So come to your fingertips. If you have your bricks handy, you could use them. You could press down the front shin. So we're lengthening, what are we? The left hip. The front of the hip flexors there, engaging the glute a little. Shoulders, you're going to lift them up and then slide the blades down the back of the body. So again, there's brightness and pride to the heart, the front of the chest. A few more breaths. Press down into that front shin, get a little more buoyancy. And find that deep, expansive breath. Brilliant. And you're going to roll onto your right side. So the right bum cheek lands onto the mat. You can kind of flop over a little. Left leg swoops to the front of the room. Come into a seated twist. So the left foot steps over the right thigh. The right knee feels a bit niggly. Then have the leg out in front. Nice. If all of you are happy with the knee bent, great. Your left hand comes behind you. Right arm reaches to the sky. Again, make length in that side of the body. And bring the elbow across to the opposite thigh. Seated twist. Gently looking or gazing over your left shoulder. So avoid any tension in the neck. It is a continuation of the spine. Can you press down your left foot into the mat? Use that to get a little bit more height. Yeah, lovely everyone. Inhale, lengthening, lifting. Exhale, maybe you get a little more twist from the thoracic spine, kind of rib cage area. Inhaling, length. Exhaling, twist. Brilliant. Last one. Really good. Inhale, bring yourself back to center. So you're facing the front of the mat again. We're going to work on standing up without using the hands too much. So you can bring the weight forwards a little bit and you can use a bit of momentum, but mainly it's to strengthen the core. Arms can reach out in front. Take a deep breath in. As you exhale, rock forward, press into that left foot, bring the right knee all the way up to stand. However you get there is fine. Brilliant. So you're standing on your left leg, the right knee is bent out in front of you. Have a little softness to your standing leg and then wrap the thighs. So the higher up the thighs you wrap, the better. Your right toes could stay on the mat for support, so come into eagle legs. Maybe those toes reach behind the back of the calf. If that's you, realign the hips towards the front of the room. Yeah, great. Arms out in front. Let's do right arm underneath left. Bend elbows. Backs of the hands or the palms come together. Can you lift the elbows to spread the shoulder blades apart a little? And exhale, draw them towards your navel center. Find something to look at, a drishti, something that's not moving, and drawing the elbows in a little closer. Feel the spread of the back of the body as you inhale. Exhaling, strengthening your center. If you want a little more challenge, perhaps you lift up the heel of the standing leg. So coming to the toes of the standing leg strengthens the ankle, sense of humor. Again, wobbling is good, challenging. Then you're going to unwind yourself. Arms reach up, knee lifts up. Nearly there. From here, the hands come down, your leg lifts up into the air. You're in that standing splits again. Full palm of the hand has to be down onto the mat if you're going to do any little hops. You can tip the weight into the toes of that left foot. Right leg is in the air. Perhaps on an exhale, you're swapping the legs in the air. Doesn't matter how high up. Always catapulting too much. Brilliant. Keep the arms straight. Press the fingertips down. You've got that grip of the earth. Last one if you've got it. Brilliant. And everyone coming to a standing forward fold at the front of the mat. Knees bend a lot. Either hold onto the elbows or let the palms rest down onto the mat. Lion's breath. In through the nose. Stick out the tongue. We've got two more. Getting rid of stuck prana and breath. Last one. Really nice. Pausing there for another breath. Bend your knees. Slowly roll up the spine. Coming to our starting point. Standing at the front of the mat. Shoulders roll down the back. Taking a breath there. Little lot on the other side. So building strength, building rotation in the spine. Inhale, come to chair pose. Bum goes back, arms reach forward. Legs together if you can, so you can get that squeeze between the thighs. As you exhale, bring the hands down through your heart center into prayer. Inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale, right elbow opposite thigh, turning towards the left. Keep squeezing the thighs together. Palms pressed, maybe you get a little more twist in this direction. Keep the breath deep and smooth. Then look down towards your feet, really as slow as you can. Use the strength at your core to lift your right foot and step it back to a twisted lunge. You could drop the knee if you want to come down to a low lunge. Hands can stay where they are. Maybe you open your wings, so one hand down to the earth, the other to the sky. That could be beyond that front leg or to the inside. You're welcome to take a bind if that suits for you. See if you can find that full deep breath, not easy in a twist. Really good for flushing the internal organs with blood when we come out of it. Last one. Then unwind yourself, hands frame the front of the foot. Step back to plank pose. Flowing or pausing in downward dog. And moving, go mindfully. Inhale, shoulders down the back. Exhale, downward dog. Fallen star on the side before pigeon pose. Inhale, the left leg rises up. Bend the knee, open the hip out to the side. Watch your right knee doesn't twist too much. You want to keep that standing leg steady. Opening the left hip a millimetre more. And as you exhale, draw the knee to the opposite elbow. Your leg goes towards the side wall. You're on the inside edge of the back foot, so the inside edge of your right foot. Right arm reaches to the sky. Have I got left and right? So yeah, this leg comes here, inside of the foot, right arm to the sky. Brilliant. If you'd like to dip the hips a couple of times, you can do. Working on the side of the body, strengthening. Brilliant. Another dip if you've got it in you. Then bring the hand back down onto the mat, well done. Left leg swoops up into the three-legged dog. And draw that shin, that knee forwards, land it, back knee down, toes release. High pigeon pose. So rather than collapsing down, we're keeping a bit of buoyancy. If you do need grips underneath, go for it. Maybe a little more height in the hands, shoulders down the back. Press your front shin down to get a bit more lift. Great. That buoyancy to the heart, brightening of the collarbones. Maybe looking down the nose, the gaze is soft. Connecting to your rhythm again, your breath. And rolling over to the left side of the body, sweep the right leg round. However you get there, we're going to meet in a seated position. Crossing the right leg over the left, sole of the foot lands, left knee is bent. Seated twist. Where are we? Right hand comes behind you onto the mat. You can stay on your fingertips, perhaps to get a bit more length in that spine. Left arm reaches to the sky. And bring the elbow across the opposite thigh, you're twisting towards the right side. So the elbow can come across the thigh, rotating the spine. Yeah, if you can, press your right foot down into the earth. Nice, Abby. Use that to get a little more length, a little more height in the spine. Exhale. Inhale, lengthening upwards. Exhale, twisting. That's it. Inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale, it's the thoracic, the rib cage that rolls. Last one to this side. And inhale, come back through center. So you're facing the front of the room. So you're going to come to stand on your right foot. You can lean forwards a little bit. You can use the arms forwards a little momentum, but use the strength in your core. Take a deep breath in and exhale, come up to stand. Brilliant. So you're standing on your right leg, left knee lifts in towards you. Soften the right knee a little bit so you can wrap the left thigh on top of the right, like you're crossing your legs at a desk. Maybe the toes stay on the mat, maybe you hook the toes around. Find something to look at that's not moving that can help with your balance. Arms out in front, left underneath right. Lift the elbows so you can spread the shoulder blades apart, back of the hands or the palms touching. As you exhale, draw the elbows towards your navel center. Inhale, breathe into the back body, spread the shoulders apart. Exhale, elbows to your belly. Notice what happens to the breath, the face. You want to test yourself, maybe lifting up the right heel. So coming to the toes of the standing leg. Really good to push, to challenge, to wobble, to fail. Brilliant. Deep concentrated breaths. Inhale, unravel yourself. Reach the arms to the sky. Lift the knee up. Exhale, hands down through prayer. Left leg rises up behind you, standing split. So you're folding forwards, hands coming down to the earth. Again, you've got your options. Palms need to be fully down onto the mat, so you can bend the standing knee if you want to try those hops. So palms fully down. Otherwise, standing splits, the left leg lifting behind you. If you're hopping, you can rock a little weight forwards into the toes, and then perhaps lifting and swapping the legs in the air. Brilliant. A couple more tries if you've got it. Amazing. Once you've had enough, you're going to step back to plank pose. Last vinyasa, downward dog. We're all going to meet in child's pose. You can go straight there if you'd like. So knees drop down, bum to heels. Some well-deserved breaths in a child's pose. And allow your hips to be really heavy. And bum working towards the heels. Find that expansion on the inhale, and maybe let something go on the exhale. Face is soft. Breath nice and deep. Waves of your breath. Inhale down the spine, pooling in the hips. Exhale, it leaves up and out. Few more breaths, just connecting to your rhythm. Feeling that connection to the earth. Releasing the final breath gently out of the mouth. Slowly walk your hands in towards you, come up to kneel. Just show you where we're going. Some of you have been practicing on this with me. We're working towards side crow. So all that strength and twist that we've been doing is working towards this. You all did this really nice balance pose with the hands into prayer, balancing on your toes, lengthening on an inhale and beginning to twist on an exhale. So this is a nice place to kind of work with, lengthening and twisting, almost like the kind of hands of a clock working round. Either pausing there, or I'm going to give you the option of bringing the hands down, so your fingers will be facing the window, knees towards the front of the room. Front elbow contacts the legs, back elbow is free. Your knees need to come quite far forwards towards the front of the mat if you're going to lift up into side crow. Coming to the tiptoes, rocking a little weight forwards and backwards. So again, that's a nice place to stay. Or perhaps lifting the knees up and taking a few breaths there. Those of you that have kind of mastered that stage, if you want to have a go, cross the right thigh over the left and use the elbow onto that thigh. From there, potentially, it's easier to open the legs wide. Face planting is a possibility, but it's not far to go. So we'll all have a go at the first, but you don't have to go any further than that. So this first pose we'll all start in. It's a really good way of working with the obliques. So knees towards the front of the room, we're going to twist to the right. Hands into prayer. Squeeze the thighs together, find some strength in your core. Lengthen the spine on an inhale, and begin to twist to the right on an exhale. Follow that pattern of length and twist until you get as far as you can go. staying there and breathing, or bring the hands down to the edge of the mat. Your left elbow is contacting with your right thigh, the right elbow is free. Coming to the tips of the toes, so bringing a little bit of weight forwards onto the hands, onto the wrists, using the strength of your core to lighten the load. So this engagement of your belly in and up helps lighten the load on the arm. Brilliant, Hannah. A couple of little tries. Elbows bending in towards you. So sometimes it can be easier to start from a plinth, using a block under the feet so you've got a bit more height. And it's that rotation of the knees towards the front of the room, which I think can really help in terms of finding the balance. Once you've had a couple of goes on that side, we'll come to the other. So the knees stay where they are. You come through centre, your knees point towards the front of the mat. Hands into prayer. Lengthen on an inhale and then twist over towards your left. Find that length and then rotation. Perhaps bring the hands towards the edge of the mat. Elbows bending in towards you. Left elbow free, right elbow makes contact. Lifting the heels, coming to the tips of the toes. Maybe you rock a little way. A couple of little plays, other way around, Daniel, with the legs. Cross the other leg on top. That's it. Then your right elbow comes onto that leg. Brilliant. So playing with the balance. Once you've had enough, come back to centre and the bum comes down. Something to work towards. Doesn't bring enlightenment, mindful, just something to play with. So your bum is going to come down onto the mat, have the soles of the feet together. Let's come to a kind of more restorative Baddha Konasana. So have a bit of space between your body and your heels. Your knees are bent, butterfly pose, soles of the feet together. Those of you with tight inner groins and hips, you could try very gentle pulsing. So nothing too forceful. Butterfly, fluttering the wings. So working a bit of movement into an area, and I'm going to stretch. And bringing the knee pulses to a bit of stillness. Lengthen the heart on an inhale so the spine grows long. Exhale, begin to hinge forward. I'm going to take a few stages, lengthening, and then bowing. When you get to your limit, your edge for the moment, allow the head to bow down, the back of the neck rounds. So you're drawing yourself in, softening the belly. Quite a protective pose of the belly. So can you allow it to swell on an inhale? Exhale, it gently draws in, but it's a natural contraction rather than force. Can you feel the breath in the back of the body? You can allow the head to be heavy for this one, the back of the neck rounding. Yeah, lovely. Face soft, eyebrows, cheeks, jaw. Let them melt. And just notice if the mind is busy. It's chattering, if it's running away. Can you bring it back to the body and the breath, the present moment? Inhale, expansive. Exhale, letting something go. You've got 5 more breaths here. You can count them if that helps you to stay connected. Releasing the final word gently out of the mouth. And slowly lifting the gaze. Use the hands to the outside of the legs and draw them together. You can have your feet out in front of you, your feet hip distance apart. Bring your hands just behind you. Spend a moment just transferring weight from hand to hand. So it's like you're padding the mat with the hands, getting into the shoulders. And then when you feel if it's time to settle. Your fingers are in the same direction as your toes. Press the hands and the feet down to lift up the torso, present it to the sky, reverse tabletop. Great. Again, if it feels possible and nice to the shoulders, you can do a very gentle rock forwards and backwards, but do be careful with your shoulders here, it can be quite tough on you to go. And then press into the hands and feet, lift the bum a little higher, gaze can be up or to the belly. Final one. And then bring the bum back down onto the mat and give yourself a well-deserved hug. A cosmic egg pose. Bringing the knees in, you could cross the ankles, you're making yourself into a little ball. Curling yourself in, breathing into the back of the body. Support and protection for yourself. Bring your feet back down onto the mat. Using the smaller brick, so I'm just going to do a heart opener and hip opener before Shavasana. So the small kind of house block brick is going to go just underneath your shoulder blades. You're leaning back, the brick is horizontal, your head rests either directly into the mat or you can use a flat block under your head. Elbows could be in this kind of cactus shape. So if one of these small bricks isn't available for you, a rather nice alternative is rolling up a blanket and popping that under the shoulder blades. What you're wanting is to lift the heart a little bit, stretching out the front of the body. Knees can stay bent. If you'd like, they can reach along the mat. Closing down the eyes and breathing here. So after all that strengthening of the front, deep twists, we're now allowing a softness, a lengthening to come through the front of the body. Face soft, checking in that there's no unnecessary tension that's crept in there. We'll be here for another 8 to 10 breaths. If you find that your mind wanders away, perhaps count the breaths. A full inhale and a long exhale. Count as one breath. Preparing yourself to move. Bring yourself back into the room, into the body. Roll over a little to the side and then just remove the brick, placing it beside you for a moment. Let the back settle down onto the mat. You feel almost an imprint of where the brick previously was. Right, and bring your heels in a little closer. Press into the feet so you can lift the bum just enough to now place this brick underneath your sacrum, the back of the pelvis, the lower back area. Find a spot where it feels comfortable. Again, a blanket or a book covered in a blanket could do the same job. From there you have the choice of staying in this kind of restorative bridge pose, the hips slightly lifted higher than the heart, or you can stretch your legs long. Again, it might feel nice to lengthen the legs, stretching the front of the body, the hip flexors lengthen out, the abdomen. But have softness with this, so there's no force here. Just a gentle lifting of your hips, the pelvis. Stretching out the front of the body, eyes closed, face soft. Breath deep and full. Taking a little bit of time here, again maybe 8 to 10 breaths. Inhale, feel the expansion, that space as your breath comes in. Exhale, that rooting down, letting go of what you don't need. Following the ebb and flow, inhale and exhale. here, perhaps releasing it out of the mouth. And press into the feet, lift up the hips, remove the brick. If there's anything else that you desperately need to do before final relaxation, maybe a happy baby, perhaps a supine twist, do what you feel is needed for the body to then settle, so 20 seconds or so to play. And then you're going to reach your legs, your heels to the corner of your mat. Let the feet flop out. Nestle your shoulder blades so you've got a broad back, long neck. Have the palms facing upwards so your knuckles are resting on the mat. Making yourself as warm, as comfortable as you can be, using blankets, eye pillows, whatever you have to hand. Take one last full deep breath in through the nose. Sigh it out the mouth and soften. Final resting pose. Imagine your bones heavy, this dense skeleton being pulled down, connected to earth by the force of gravity. Allow those hard-working muscles to melt, pooling into the earth beneath you. There's a total surrender of the body, an imprint of you, making shape down into the earth. The earth, in response, rises up to offer you all the support that you need. Body being breathed. Just notice where your mind went. Bring it back to the breath. Deepening the breath. And using these breaths to reawaken, re-enliven your body. Bringing gentle movement to fingers and toes, wrists and ankles. And when you feel ready, reach the arms above the head, come to that full body stretch. And draw the knees in one by one, give yourself a final squeeze before rolling over to one side. Take a moment there for the energy to settle, and then press yourself up to sit. With eyes closed or the gaze soft, and one hand to your heart, one to the lower belly, and breathe into those hands. Perhaps finding a little extra space inside, maybe even some gratitude for these amazing bodies that carries around. Inviting the muscles of the face to soften once more. And let's finish the class with a breath together. In through the nose, out the mouth. Perhaps bring your hands into prayer in front of the heart center, a gesture to seal in the practice, bowing forehead to hands, And hands towards the earth. Namaste.